Hey, it's time for a pop-up. It's later on Monday. I did do the Off the Bridge vid this morning. Hope you are continuing to have a good day if you're watching this on Monday, in the middle of the day, or a good night, or whatever's going on, whatever time it is where you are. So I'm just going to read on a few things. I'm going to keep this short. I'm doing a show with Healing Truth Tarot with Shelly, 3 p.m. Eastern Time, live. If you want to catch us live, it's going to be at that time. All right. So, it's interesting these times that we're in because it's like this. We have to look at it this way. We're in this epic in American history where we get to see if fascism can make it here. In the year 2025, on the heels of the 250th anniversary of the founding of our democracy next year. We're heading there. So this is what we're doing. It's up to us. It's up to whoever is here, whoever's incarnated on the planet at this time in the United States of America, to determine the trajectory of our history and of humanity in so many ways. So, speaking of humanity, I'm going to read on a person who, according to everything that I can see, is a thug. I know you're going to think I'm referring to Trump. Is a buffoon. Is clearly, there's nothing wrong with this, but clearly shows signs of being completely uneducated and perhaps a little bit mentally slow. And the person I'm talking about is Tom Homan. The person who is directing these ICE roundups of human beings to be deported to concentration camps. And I'm not even going to get into all that due process stuff, because I just want to look at the inhumaneness of them sending anyone to a concentration camp. But what I'm going to read on is Homan. First off, he has no business whatsoever being in the position that he's in. Nor do any of them. But we're just going to pull cards on him. And yes, in case you were wondering, we need the nefarious cards for this. So this video is just going to be like 12 or 13 minutes. Yesterday's was longer. Yesterday's pop-up was longer because I had skipped Saturday. And I had a little extra time yesterday. Okay, I'm kind of honing in on Homan. Now, if you watch this guy, and like at a press conference, Tom Homan, I'm aghast. I'm completely aghast at how he just seems like a criminal that they just pulled out of a prison to lead these crimes against humanity committing administration. So the question, let me ask a specific question. What's going to happen to him? What's going to happen to him? Is he just going to continue to get away with deporting people to death camps? Once again, I can't even believe this is 2025 and this is what I'm reading on, but it always makes me feel better knowing that my soul could never do that in this lifetime anyway. I mean, it's really bad karma for them, and it's very, very toxic for them in every way on all levels. How dare they? What's going to happen to him? This is extreme heartbreak. He's a very damaged individual, this Homan. The Ten of Cups is he has blood on his hands. And the Ace of Cups, this is going to be what he's doing under the direction of the orange buffoon is going to be held up for the world to see. And it's going to kind of, what we do with that is going to kind of define the direction that America goes. But I see Three of Swords heartbreak. I see he has blood on his hands. And I see that that's what the world sees about Tom Homan. Let's look at the pendulum. Will he eventually be held for crimes against humanity? Will he eventually be, it looks like yes, that he will be cited for crimes against humanity. Will we see Justice Act? Will we see Justice Act? There's a yes, okay? Now, I'm remembering when the pendulum a week and a half ago, I asked if the Democrats were going to El Salvador, and I got yes. No, I got no. And then they did end up going. So I do question these things. I do. City living, pray that they're okay. I've noticed with the pendulum that if something doesn't end up being very effective, or if it doesn't have a lot of energy, sometimes it'll give me a negative. So, you know, we'll continue to look at it, whether that did any good. So I'm going to pull one card now about Homan, because it looks like the rest of the world is going to really take notice of what he's doing and what ICE is doing. They're following the Nazi playbook. Let's just be honest. So the King of Cups. So I had the Ace of Cups and the King of Cups. This feels like somebody who's going to make a big deal about what's going on. This feels like a male who's going to come forth and cite this Department of Homeland Security for what they really are. So this is actually going to define what Homan is doing, is going to define how the rest of the world treats the United States. And I do see a time when the rest of the world is asking, really, is this what do you all want this? And it's time. It will be time for the people to speak out. And if you want any motivation, just go watch that guy. Not for too long, because you don't want to ruin your day, but just look at him. And that's what's being represented. So we're in an identity crisis. Not that we don't know who we are and what we are all about individually, but what we're going to make an effort to show the rest of the world. That's what this is about. And when the rest of the world sees America coming together to fight back for justice and for fair treatment of all of us, of all human beings, we are founded on that, even though we've been very imperfect about it as a country. We have to not let somebody or some administration be out there representing us. It's like if personally somebody was representing you and you're a kind person who's very generous and caring, and somebody got out there and they represented you, maybe a lawyer or something, which I don't know why a lawyer would do this, but where they were just representing you as the most heinous human being ever, and it totally didn't apply. That's what this is. So unless we stand up and defend the United States of America and our people and who we are and what we stand for, the rest of the world is going to look at us like, oh, I guess they all want this. Just saying. But I do pick up the King of Cups. It feels like a man with a lot of power, and I keep on picking that up. A man with a lot of power speaking up about what's going on. And it feels like somebody from another country, and I keep on getting that. Okay, so I'm going to ask another question, and it's going to be about Hegseth. And I'm actually not going to use the nefarious cards because I want to look at what's going to happen with Hegseth. And it could be that, you know, good people are moving in to remove him. What's going to happen with Hegseth? Three of Wands is him waving goodbye to the position he has been in. The Queen of Pentacles, I feel that there's a judge that's going to speak out against Hegseth. This feels like it's a military kind of a person. And the Hangman is he's going to have to surrender. This is about Hegseth. I see a powerful woman stepping in, but it feels like she's got some military authority. Now one more thing, and then I'll go get ready for the show with Shelly. Hopefully all the technology works this afternoon. And here's my question. I think it's very strange that we have not heard from past administrations that were real American administrations, that were real, that are real, because they're still alive. I think it's very strange that we're not hearing from them. So I'm going to pull 3 cards asking for clarification on that. Why are we not hearing from people that have been in our democratic leadership, like the last administration? What's going on? Why are they not saying anything? Why is Kamala Harris not, like, out there speaking to the public? What's happening with that? Well, there's okay, well, here we go. This is what I'm going to tell you about that. This is Dumpy, the emperor who has no clothes. This is the something being really in the spotlight about him, and then the communication will come. Then we'll have communication from them coming. I don't know why, but it just seems like there's a lot going on behind the scenes that we may never know about, but they can't divulge anything. And I know I'm really impatient about it too. Like, how long are they going to wait? So let's just ask the pendulum real quick, and then I'll let you go. Well, we have to wait 1 more week, 2 more weeks, 3 more weeks before we hear from the past administration. 4 more weeks. It looks like within a month. Okay. Will we see something happen in terms of justice happening? Will we see something happen this week? Not in terms of justice happening against this regime. Within 2 weeks, will we see some justice happening against this regime? Within 3 weeks, will we see justice moving forward against this regime? 4 weeks? Okay, so it looks like within 1 month we're going to see justice against this regime. Will we see any signs that it's coming this week? We'll see some signs that it's coming this week. So what I want to tell you is to pay attention to the little wins. And you may have to look for them, because you know mainstream media is not going to show them to you. I'm getting incremental steps being made that might seem small, but they're big. Behind the scenes is more. In front of the scenes, or, you know, in the spotlight, there are less. We have to continue to really know that this is our time to stand up against fascism. All right? We can do this. We've got this. Keep the faith. And we'll see you very soon. It is Monday when I'm recording this. So tonight's PNN also, 7 p.m. Eastern Time. Please tell your friends. And maybe help grow this channel. All right. Namaste. Love you lots.